This is Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors.
I made it. Welcome into Friday Night Football. I'm Ryan Compo. We'll hear from Sabrina Hoover in just a little bit. Week 8 of the Texas high school football season is here. Huge week for teams looking to either continue their hot starts to district play or salvage their seasons now that we're in the thick of that district play for a lot of teams here in the Concho Valley. One team looking to bounce back from a district loss last week, Central Bobcats over in Odessa this evening. The Bobcats taking on the Broncos of Odessa High this evening over at Ratliff Stadium. CHS got to work. Quarterback Christian English breaks the tackle here. He'll find his way into the end zone. This will tie this one up at 7 apiece. This is just the beginning of what will be a long night for scorekeepers. Now after the English gets drilled, backup Colton Hill comes into the game. When it looks like he's about to tumble his way down, he'll hammer right on the outside. That'll get into the end zone. A little later, Central gets right back to it. Christian English back in quarterback, takes it right to Hill himself. Green doesn't get the option, keeping it himself, finds another score. That'll go up 14-7. This just the Christian English show. Keeps it himself on the option, sees nothing but open field in front of him, scoring his third of the night, putting the Bobcats up 21-0. This one's still going on as we speak. It's a shootout over at Ratliff. We're tied 63-63 in overtime. We'll have a final of this one on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Down to Class 4A we go. The Lakeview Chiefs, the journey continuing this week in the toughest district in Region 1 out of Class 4A, looking to snap their 6-game losing streak and get to 1-1 in District 2 4A play. The Chiefs over in Brownwood tonight taking on 9th-ranked Lions. This was all Brownwood. The Lions give it to Levi Pearson. Goes in untouched from 22 yards out. 7-0 Lions. Next possession at the goal line, Jalen Brown gets a turn. He scores for Brownwood. That'll make it 14-0. Third possession, another Brownwood touchdown. Pearson punches it in for his second score of the game. The Chiefs go on to drop their 7th straight here tonight. They drop to 0-2 in district play. Lakeview back home next Thursday against Big Spring. To Class 3A we go. The reigning defending District 2 3A Division II district champs, the Wall Hawks, opened district play a week ago with a thumping over Grape Creek, looking to move to 2-0 this evening. The Hawks over in Ballinger tonight looking to stay perfect in District 2 3A play. Hawks up 20-0, ball at the 1-yard line. Quarterback Gunnar Dillard takes it himself, fakes the handoff, dives over the Bearcat defender for the touchdown. What a play here on the Hawks, the following kickoff. Luke Kemp kicks it deep. The ball takes a few bounces all the way into the end zone. Ballinger player moves out of the way. It's assuming it's a touchback, but no. Wall will pick it up. After discussion, it's another touchdown for the Hawks. That'll extend their lead to 33. Wall clicking on all 3 phases tonight. The muff snap. Ballinger drops back. Pass intercepted. Nathan Peppa lowers his shoulder on the way to the end zone. All Wall in this one as they defeat Ballinger 61-6. Two teams looking for their first district win. TLCA San Angelo hosting Grape Creek tonight. Early in the first, we'll pick this one up. Lane Honey taking the snap, steps in the pocket, scans downfield, throws a sidearm pass. Jaden Villanueva gets busy, breaking tackle after tackle after tackle, making defenders look silly on his way to score the game's first touchdown. Next Eagles possession, it's Honey once again showing off that pocket awareness, steps up, drills one in the receiver. Natavion Sykes in the middle of the field, breaks the tackle, shows off his wheels on his way for the second score of the game to make it 14-0 Eagles. Some hard running here. Siri Garcia on 4th and short finds space to the outside, runs over the TLCA San Angelo defender for the first down. However, it's the Eagles. They get their first district win tonight. That's TLCA San Angelo, 35-12 over Grape Creek. Also in District 2 3A Division 2 tonight, battle of 1-0 teams. This one all early. They win at 69-8. Next week, Brady back home when they face the Bearcats from Ballinger. Our KLST game of the week here, a district showdown. 3-2A Division 1, looking to rebound from an opening week loss. Both Cristobal and Ozona looking to make a big step towards a playoff spot this evening. Just the 6th meeting all-time. Ozona hosting Cristobal over at Ozona Stadium, Lions Stadium, rather. First drive of the game, Hudson Fowler hands it off to Christian Villarreal. Key blocks up on his way in the middle. Look at that man go. Ain't nobody stopping him. Lions with a statement to start this one off. Cougars with the possession. Stanton McLaughlin keeps it himself, finds a big hole, off to the races, but look out behind him. Dusty Smith, a shoe-saving touchdown tackle right there. What a play this was. Fowler connecting to Smith, catches the ball, looks to make 2 people miss, does so, keeps his feet in bounds, and he's in for 6. Lions, they go on to win this one tonight, 40-18 over Cristobal. That's where we find our Sabrina Hoover out at Lions Stadium with a recap of this one. Sabrina?
Hey, Ryan. Well, the Cougars expected a tough matchup with the Lions, who lost to Sonora last week, were determined to prove themselves. In the second quarter, the Cougars remained competitive up until the Lions, led by Dusty Smith's consecutive 65 and 66-yard touchdown runs, would continue their momentum 20-3 right before halftime. After halftime, the Cougars would remain competitive. They would fumble on the midfield, giving the Lions another opportunity to score, which they would capitalize on with a 6-yard touchdown run by Nolan Martinez. Turnovers and missed opportunities seemed to be the difference maker tonight for the Cougars. Final score here, 40-18 Ozona. The Cougars now drop to 0-2 in district play and will face Forest San, while the Lions improve to 1-1 in district play and will face Reagan County next. Reporting from Lions Stadium, I'm Sabrina Hoover. Back to you, Ryan.
This live shot is sponsored by AFCO Steel.
Staying in District 3-2A Division 1, one of our final three teams head into Week 8 undefeated. The Sonora Broncos looking to stay red hot after a big opening district win a week ago. The 8th-ranked Broncos welcoming Reagan County to town this evening. Broncos strike first in this one. Edgar DeLuna runs to the outside, makes one man miss. Cameraman shout out to him, keeps it on the young man. Runs over a defender as he crosses the goal line. 6-0 Sonora. If one is good, more is better. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. DeLuna with the handoff goes up the middle. He'll drag an owl into the end zone with him. That's 14-0 Broncos. Hockey season upon us. How about a hat trick for Mr. Edgar DeLuna tonight on the ground early on? Continues to put up video game numbers on both sides of the ball. That'll make it 21-0 Sonora. Sonora staying perfect, 57-12 over Reagan County. We got to take our first break of the evening. We've reached the halfway point of our highlights and scores from 11-man teams from around the area. Coming up after the break, the Miles Bulldogs looking to rebound following a tough opening district loss a week ago. They hosted Hamlin tonight. That and more after the break. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. We continue our 11-man highlights tonight with the Junction Eagles, who pulled off quite the upset a week ago on the road, taking down Stockdale in double overtime, 43-41. The Eagles back home for the first time in 3 weeks tonight, hosting rival Harper, winners of 3 straight against the Longhorns, including a year ago to clinch a playoff berth out of District 14-2A tonight. Junction makes it 4 straight. They move to 2-0 in district play. Next week, the Eagles host the other team from the Concho Valley in this district, the Mason Punchers. Speaking of those Punchers, they began district play tonight over in Johnson City. 6-0 Mason, 6-1 Johnson City. A quest for 13 straight district titles beginning tonight for the Punchers, and it was a thriller on the road for them. They take down Johnson City 28-27 in their district opener. Next week, 2 unbeatens square off next week at the Puncher Dome when Mason hosts Junction. Over to District 5-2A Division 2 we go. It's been quite the start for the Sterling City Eagles. Perfect 2 for 2 so far in district play, looking to remain unbeaten tonight. The Eagles on the road for the first time since way back in Week 1 over in Iran this evening. Sterling City won a year ago in the first meeting since 1985. This evening, a thriller on the road. The Eagles defense comes up big with a last-minute stop. They win at 28-25. They're back at home next week when they face El Dorado. Speaking of those Eagles, a big win a week ago by 2 points over Water Valley. Tonight playing host to McCamey. Last year, the Badgers won 35-12 in the first meeting since 2019. This one in overtime at last check, El Dorado and McCamey, 34-34. We'll have the final on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. As for next week, as I mentioned, El Dorado traveling to Sterling City. Third and final team out of District 5-2A Division 2, the Water Valley Wildcats, still searching for their first win in district play this season, on the road to take on 9th-ranked and unbeaten Wink. Tonight, all Wildcats in this one. Wildcats back in action on the road to face Iran next weekend. Down to our final district in 11-man District 6-2A Division 2, which sees the Miles Bulldogs looking to bounce back from a tough loss last week on the road against number 1 Albany. Out at Gary Krejci Memorial Stadium, the Bulldogs hosting the Pied Pipers of Hamlin. Bulldogs coming out fierce in this one. Quarterback Haven Buck scrambles to his right. Nothing but green grass and 6 points for him. Miles off to an early lead. More from Miles. Book will go to the air this time, connecting with Cooper Ellison. What a grab over the Pied Piper defender for the touchdown. That'll extend the Bulldogs' lead in this one. Book to the air once again. This time the quick pass over to Jalen Torres. He's in for 6. Big night for the Bulldogs. They move to 1-1 in district play with a 63-8 victory over Hamlin. All right, we've reached the end of our highlights and scores. I promise I got a central update. We'll have that one after the break. Plus, a heavyweight tilt in District 13-1A tonight. Battle of 1-0 teams is undefeated. Very best travels to 1 loss for Robert Lee. Those highlights and much more after the break. Welcome back into Friday Night Football. Wanted to give an update on those Central Bobcats. They fall in overtime tonight, 71-70. The Broncos go for 2 and knock off the Bobcats tonight. Broncos at 71. Bobcats 70. We'll have much more on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. One of the biggest games happening in the Concho Valley over in Coke County is when loss Robert Lee squared off with unbeaten Very Best with huge district implications on the line in this one. Over to Griffith Stadium, a battle of 1-0 teams in district play. Robert Lee hosting Very Best. Steers strike first. First drive of the game, quarterback Brody Pitcock, Braden Sherwood breaking some tackles. It's a wide open lane for the Steers. Robert Lee on the board first. Falcons needing an answer after a few more Steers touchdown. Bryce Martin with the handoff. He'll fight his way into the pile of steals and into the end zone. No one there. Very Best on the board. That won't stop the Steers, though, or Braden Sherwood. Quite the night for this young man. Yet again on the ground. His 4th touchdown on the night. That'll make it 28-8. Steers and the Very Best perfect season tonight. 80-54 to move to 2-0 in district play. Also in District 13-1A play, Erie County, their first district game, their first district win. They win 82-32. Erie County plays host to Robert Lee next week. Eden will be off. While most of the area continues on district play, we've got 2 districts that are off this week as they begin district play next week, District 13-1A Division 2 and District 14-1A Division 2. We'll get started in District 13-1A Division 2 with the Blackwell Hornets, who, despite having a young team that started off on a 1-3, they've rattled off back-to-back wins over Panther Creek and Paint Rock to get back on the winning side. They get back to 500, concluding their non-district play at 3-3, looking to use that momentum to find themselves in a playoff spot. The other Concho Valley team in this district, we apologize for that technical difficulty there. Unfortunately, hasn't had the same luck at the point of the season. Injuries, youth playing the big toll for the Longhorns, who started the year dropping their last 6 after a shutout over Rule. Tough start to the season for first-year head coach Rocky Rawls. The Longhorns looking to flip the script, make it a positive end to their season. This 4-team district looking like this as they go into district play next week. Blackwell and Trent sitting at 3-3. Bront and Lorain rounding out this district at 1-6 and 0-7. District play begins next week. The drive to AT&T Stadium begins for these 4 teams as Bront travels to Trent, Blackwell hosting Lorain to begin district play. The 10th and final district here in the Concho Valley, based off classification size, District 14-1A Division 2, which sees the Paint Rock Indians, the lone team in this district from the Concho Valley. Indians came out guns a-blazing to start the season, winning 4 of their first 5, but have taken a couple steps back. They've dropped 2 games, 1 to Very Best, a team up a classification, and then also from Paint Rock and Blackwell, who could possibly see them in the playoffs. You never know. Young team for head coach Jeff Shelton in his 2nd year as they look to finish the year out on a good note. Once again, 2 of these 4 teams will find themselves in the playoffs. It's a stacked district in terms of sample size. Paint Rock, Rising Star, Panther Creek all find themselves above the 500 mark. Moraine sitting at 2-5. Here's the schedule for week 9 for these schools. The opening week of district play, Paint Rock hosting Rising Star, and Panther Creek plays host to Moran. Got to take our final break. When we come back, we take a look at a handful of games for next week, week 9. A lot of playoff implications on the line. Stay with us. You're watching Friday Night Football right here on KLST. All right, before we go, let's take a look at some spotlight games for next week. Next week, another huge week for teams looking to salvage their season, inch closer to a district title, or keep them in the little pack, they say, if they will, in terms of finding themselves in a playoff spot. Week 9s begin on Thursday night next week. We get a double dip at San Angelo Stadium. Lakeview Chiefs look to find themselves in a playoff spot. They'll look on to take on Big Spring. Central home Friday, they'll take on Midland Legacy. Junction and Mason, a battle of unbeatens out of District 14-2A. El Dorado taking on undefeated Sterling City, and the 6-man games, Robert Lee, Erie County, Menard, and Very Best. If you missed anything from our show tonight, head over to our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. As we say adieu, we will. All right, that'll do it for this week in the Texas high school football season. If you missed anything, like I mentioned, head over to our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. For all of us here at KLST, I'm Ryan Campo. Have a great weekend.
Catering for Friday Night Football is provided by Chick-fil-A. Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors. For more on today's stories, visit ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is sponsored by the Law Office of Rick DeHoyos.